لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. May praise be to Allah, the creator of the worlds, and peace and blessings be upon his Prophet Muhammad, the head of all messengers, upon his family and all his companions. Auspicious guests, respected teachers, and dear audience, as we gather to celebrate the 78th Independence Day of our great nation, we honor the countless sacrifices that brought us to this moment. As Franklin D. Roosevelt said, in the truest sense, freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved. Our freedom was not a gift, but a result of relentless struggles by men and women of every community and religion. Dear audience, it is crucial today more than ever to remember the vital role that Muslims played in this struggle, especially in the light of false narratives that seek to paint them as traitors. Dear audience, contrary to the popular propaganda peddled by fascist organizations, Muslims were deeply involved in the fight for freedom from the very beginning. In the first war of independence in 1857, Muslims didn't just stand alongside Hindus, Sikhs and others. Rather, the striking reality is that they led the movement against British rule. Among the 2,000 martyrs during that uprising, more than 1,500 were Muslim. These men and women gave their lives for the idea of a free India. Dear audience, how can one overlook the contributions of towering Muslim leaders like Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who was one of the principal architects of modern India, a visionary, a scholar, and a firm believer in Hindu-Muslim coexistence, practicing their own beliefs. He served as the president of the National Congress and fought tirelessly for our freedom. How can one forget Ali brothers, who filled the atmosphere then with the spirit of sacrifice within every soul by their speeches, their magazines, and their tours? During the Round Table Conference in 1931 in London, Maulana Muhammad Ali Jauhar made a historic and powerful statement. He famously declared, "I would prefer to die in a foreign land as a free man, rather return to a slave land." And numbers speak themselves. During the Quit India movement of 1942, Muslims made up around 10% of Congress membership, reflecting their deep commitment to the cause. Furthermore, around 40% of the soldiers in Indian Army Congress led by Subhash Chandra Bose was Muslims. These men and women fought bravely, often sacrificing their life for the idea of a free India. Yet, despite these contributions and facts, many organizations say that Muslims were traitors to the cause of Indian independence. This claim was as baseless as shit. Muslims have never been traitors to the country. They always stood along with the cause of country. Dear audience, as we celebrate today the independence, we must take a moment to reflect on the challenges that our nation currently faces. India, which was once the largest democracy of the world, is now at the risk of losing that very identity. We see growing tendencies towards authoritarianism, where free speech is curtailed and democratic institutions are being weakened. This is not the India that our forefathers and freedom fighters dreamed of. Dear audience, it's also important that we must stand for every nation which is fighting for their freedom. Historically, India has always stood with the oppressed, speaking out against colonialism and oppression. However, today we see a government that is increasingly aligning itself with Israel, a nation that is known for oppressing Palestinian people and occupying Palestinian lands. So it's our duty to stand with the Palestinian cause as they also are fighting for their freedom. Today we see our media is portraying Palestinian peoples as terrorists while they are fighting for their freedom. So we must stand for Palestinian peoples as we once fought for our freedom. And in conclusion, we must ensure that our upcoming generation remember the sacrifices and contributions our forefathers made for this country. Here I conclude my speech. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.